Is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
It appears that the further we delve at Jake's link to Diddy, the more frightening the image gets. Some stories claim that Jakes was more than just a spectator. He was aware of what was occurring and opted to keep quiet. Even more, sources say that Diddy intimidated Jakes to ensure he stayed silent about the darker side of these occurrences. Could it be that Jakes, once frightened of losing his employment or maybe facing legal penalties, kept in line out of fear? After all, Diddy was known to have considerable power in Hollywood, and crossing him may have been a hazardous move for anybody seeking to make it big in the entertainment sector. The animosity between Jakes and Diddy apparently came to a head. According to those close to the issue, Jakes felt more apprehensive about his relationship to Diddy, particularly as allegations about the Mobile's conduct began to build up momentum. One source alleges that Jakes was very scared of getting caught up in the FBI's inquiry. The strain must have been awful. Imagine knowing that the guy who helped you climb to success may also be your demise.
Nah, I just see I see him one day that I know for a fact he'll be behind bars. So it don't matter what he do now.
Think you right, Puff, dude. He might need to get out of here.
Just get,
it's
man.
over with. Did your thing. It's over.
You had a hell of a run.
That's it.
And you still have hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's when, according to some stories, Jakes made a life-changing choice. He opted to collaborate with authorities. Insiders allege that Jakes, fearful for his own safety, chose to turn Diddy into the FBI, supplying them with key evidence about what occurred at those gatherings. It's thought that Jakes supplied extensive reports of the activities he observed, as well as identities of those who attended these scandalous parties. His collaboration with the police is considered to be one of the reasons why the investigation against Diddy went so rapidly.
Is there any possibility that he walks away clean from this, that everything is dropped and he faces no charges or any prison time?
Not impossible. I mean, anything is possible. But I don't see that happening. I see him kind of going the path of R. Kelly, where again, for so many decades, he was able to act with impunity and just, with harming so many.
In fact, numerous sources feel that Jake's testimony could be what eventually led to Diddy's arrest. If that's true, it might suggest that Jakes is not just distancing himself from Diddy, but actively working to pull him down. The irony here is nearly too much to stomach. TD Jakes, a guy who established his fame on making people laugh, could wind up being a pivotal role in the downfall of one of the most influential men, totally eviscerated his credibility. Of course, none of this has been proven officially, and Jakes himself has been tight-lipped on the topic. His social media profiles have been curiously quiet when it comes to the Diddy issue, with his previous post just referencing an upcoming gig in Philadelphia. But quiet in the face of such large charges just makes people more skeptical. Fans and critics alike are now waiting to see whether Jakes will address the claims or continue to hide in the shadows. What makes this narrative even more fascinating is the fact that Jake's apparent collaboration with the FBI is not merely a question of preserving his own skin. It's also about the possible implications of remaining silent. If Jakes had decided not to speak out, there's a significant possibility he might have been pulled into the inquiry himself. And according to people who know him, Jakes was afraid of that prospect. One source stated that Jakes was in a full panic at the idea of getting detained, knowing that his job, and potentially his freedom, was on the line. The thought that Diddy may have threatened Jakes is not far-fetched. After all, Diddy is a guy who has been tied with a lengthy number of charges throughout the years. While many of those charges have never been substantiated, the sheer number of individuals who have come forward with distressing tales portrays a worrying picture of a guy who would go to tremendous measures to preserve his image and his empire. If Jakes did truly turn on Diddy, it's not hard to fathom why. The stakes were just too high for Jakes to stay loyal to someone who may possibly take him down with him. Now the issue is, what will happen next? Jakes has managed to keep out of the public glare thus far, but that could not continue for long. The investigation into Diddy is still continuing, and if more material comes to light, there's a high possibility that Jakes will be forced to address the allegations head-on, whether he confesses to his role in Diddy's parties or continues to deny any wrongdoing. One thing is apparent, Jakes' reputation is on the line and the world is watching. As for Diddy, his empire looks to be disintegrating. After years of allegations and litigation, it appears like the walls are now closing in on him. His arrest is only the beginning of what could be a lengthy and drawn-out legal struggle, and with more victims apparently coming forward every day, the future appears bad for the music entrepreneur. For Jakes, this may be a turning moment, a chance to cleanse his reputation and separate himself from a scandal that threatens to take down everyone involved.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was f***ed up.
It was just an escape for me. I was just young, like everybody in the industry and people in the world who experiment and do